Is there anyone in this room who hasn't heard the term energy crisis yet? Okay, you probably all. Oh, you didn't. Okay, well, good for you. Such a lucky person. Well, probably most of you did. But did you also know that this crisis brought serious financial problems to every fourth European company? These companies have already realized they need to start saving on energies, but they also found out they have absolutely zero idea where to save, how to save, and how much they can actually save. And how we found this out? 3 years ago, I was a fresh graduate. I was part of a University Technology Incubator here on Slovak Technical University, and we were conducting a research. We were basically calling managers of plants, of manufacturing companies, visiting them and asking them, like, what are your biggest concerns, biggest issues you're facing, the problems you have? And yeah, since the energy crisis just hit in 3 years ago, this was it. We need to start saving. Nobody's going to save us. And the problem was, and still is, that these companies are lacking the right data. Let's imagine an average manufacturing plant here in Slovakia, but not only here, but all around Central Europe and including Germany and Austria. You would be surprised how not digitalized it is. When an average company decides they want to analyze their energy consumption and start saving, which is a good step, they usually do it like this. You can still find these old analog meters, and then the energy manager or maintenance manager, he just goes around, he transcripts the values on a piece of paper usually, then he puts them into an Excel spreadsheet, and then he's got no idea what to do with them. So it ends up over there. Or the other way around is that an energy auditor comes in. He's usually super expensive. The only thing he does is that he collects the invoices, which is one static number per month per company. Doesn't tell you anything. It's super inaccurate. It's super time consuming, and it's super expensive. And yeah, it's too late. You know, the damage is already done. But it's not that bad everywhere. Around 1/3 of the companies here are digitalized. So they know that there is something called smart energy meter, and then there are some softwares for the visualization and gathering the data. It helps a lot. So you don't need to go around the energy meters and do all the stuff that I mentioned. But still, huge companies such as automotive companies, Kia, Volkswagen, we've seen it there. They do have this. And then what happens? Okay, we gather tons of data, like super lots of data. And okay, now the plan is to analyze them, to do the predictions, to do the forecast, calculations and everything. And let's be honest, like, who's got time for that? Who's got capacity for that? Who's got knowledge for that? Nobody. Even like the big companies, they don't have huge data teams that would just sit above the data and do all these calculations manually. Like if they do, it usually costs tons of money on the salaries and stuff. And still, there are still human errors. People need to sleep, people need to eat, and the data stays unleveraged. That's what it is. So like we're on the journey of digitalization for a couple of years, but we don't know how to actually get some outcomes. We're digitalizing, but without any real results. And you know, it's getting harder even now. Like it's not only about the prices of the energies. Like we still need to optimize, but now there are pressures from European Union. There is ESG. Maybe some of you have heard already about ESG. You know, you need to report your carbon footprint. You need to report continuous decrease of your energy consumption. You need to be more energy efficient, etc. Plus, huge clients are demanding it. If you're a supplier in an industry or like a company, you need to start doing these reports now because otherwise you'll lose your contract. And there's many more. There's like new legislation coming with energy sharing, renewables, battery storages. It's just so complex that any sort of experienced energy manager can't really manage it without like real-time data. So you can imagine as if you were the managers, instead of the status quo, you cannot now only see the real-time energy consumption on your smartphone or on your computer, but you can also see the future. You can see future potential scenarios, what's going to happen, what can happen, if there's any risk of crossing your energy consumption limit, if there's any risk of a wire overload, of a short circuit, or any other negative externality that can happen. And this is all thanks to AI, which calculates it in the background. So basically what we did based on the research and like all the meetings we've had, we created a product called Data Monitor. And what it does, it combines the features of smart metering, meaning that we gather data from the meters, we visualize them, you can see in real time, history, in a GIS, etc., but that's basic. But what we also did is that we use machine learning algorithms to create predictions, short term, 15 minutes, super important for the reserve capacity, I'm not going to get into details, midterm, 24 hours up to 7 days, super useful for planning, and if possible we can even do a 1-year forecast based on the planning of the company and on the history. This is all done by our algorithms, which are automated. Then we also combine features of guarding the limits, so it doesn't happen that you cross them. You can imagine as a manufacturing plant, if you cross your limit of your consumption, you pay a huge fine. It's usually thousands of euros, a lot. But with this, you know it ahead. You know it like 8 minutes ahead that, okay, you will cross your limit by this amount of megawatt hours, so you need to lower down your current to so many megawatts, etc. So basically, our clients stop crossing limits, or sometimes they even lower their reserved capacity based on the forecast. And the last module, data analytics, what it does, it basically does a predictive maintenance. It creates like an ideal state of the matrix and then compares it with an average and actual. So whenever there's an anomaly, you get an alarm and you know like there is something wrong with the machine, I need to take a look at it. And instead of getting downtime, breakdown, and super expensive repairs, I can prevent this or at least get ready for it. So those are 4 modules that are already being used in the market and having good results. Now we're having a 5th module, which is being tested now at 4 of our clients. It's called Dalibor. It's an energy manager in your pocket. It's basically the first energy manager chatbot, combining those real-time values from the plant, those analytics, those predictions that I talked about, with data from the internet. So basically, if you ask him like, whether there's a risk of crossing my limits, how can I optimize that, what are the consequences, Dalibor knows. So even companies who don't have like an internal energy manager or they don't have money for him, they can have Dalibor and they can ask him and he basically knows. So he will give you the advice. So basically the whole idea behind this is that what gets measured gets improved. And first of all, we need to start gathering data. Data is gold now, we probably all understand it, but then we need to leverage the data. And we either do it manually, good luck, or we let AI do the job. You know, AI doesn't need to sleep, it works 24/7, it doesn't need to eat. And even if you had the best data analysts in the world, what they can't do is that when you get new data each and every minute for thousands of your machines, they just can't analyze it, but AI can. Every time there's new data coming in, a new prediction, new analytics come in, and those busy managers who don't have time for the nice charts and everything, like if you need to take action, you get the notification, you get the alarm, you just know you need to do something. But otherwise, everything else is done by AI, all these routine tasks. So basically, we don't have much time for it, but what we see at our clients, they start saving as of day 1. First of all, they find overconsumptions. Like imagine you have 5 machines of the same kind doing the same thing at the same time, but suddenly one of them starts consuming like 30% more. What's that? There's some hidden threat, there's hidden breakage, maybe a bad setup, but if you didn't measure it and compare it and get it alarmed, you wouldn't know about it and consume more, and also shorten your life expectancy of the machine. Human inefficiencies, this is super common. People are not the most responsible beings in the world. They let the machines on in an idle mode, not working, etc. Okay, this can also be fixed if you really monitor it and people know about it. Reserved capacities, talked about it. Predictive maintenance, talked about it. Overall, what we see, clients save roughly 15% just by optimizing on these building points as of day 1. And if you imagine like those huge energy consumers, plastic manufacturing, metallurgy, automotive, those are hundreds of thousands of euros per year. So basically what we brought into smart metering is AI, including predictive maintenance, predictive alarming, chatbot, and planning. But something about us, if we still have time, I am one of the co-founders, so I always put my face there because I think the product is good and I'm responsible for it. So if you have any more questions, please talk to me. But basically the whole team is behind it. They are the reason why we are as good. Most of the team are data analysts. They create the models. They do the AI stuff. They created the chatbot. And that's actually our unique selling proposition, that we have such a team. We've won several competitions with it, both in Slovakia and abroad. But more importantly, there are big companies trusting the system, and not only in manufacturing, but also in medical sector, in hotel sector, and also basically President's Palace of Slovakia is using this system. So I think that's a proof that what we do right. Overall, you can read the reference online. I was talking too much, so we can't go detailed into the case studies, but I'll be still here. So if you're interested, either shoot the questions now or see you later. Thank you very much. My name is Simon.
Thank you very much. Maybe there is space for 1 or 2 questions before break.
Do you have any solutions maybe for households? Like, can your products be, or do you thinking about utilizing it for us normal people?
We are thinking about it, and even this can be used for a household. It's basically the same system, but imagine, okay, you need to buy smart meters, which cost something. The integration of the software costs something. The subscription costs something. You can, of course, use it, but I'm trying not to sell the product to consumers who can't really have an ROI on it. If you pay like 5,000 euros for it, then okay, when is the return going to come? I'm not sure. I mean, you can use it, you can save something, but the reason why we focus on manufacturing is that really, like, they just save 1 or 2% and the system is basically paid back. So if you want, we can try it, but you need to pay for it. That's my answer.
Okay, next question, please.
Is it any other opportunities for the enterprises? So do you help them with not only to reduce the consumption, but also to build, I don't know, the battery storage?
Yeah, that's right.
And whatever, how to do the energy contracts, and in this way.
Yes, we also do like auditing. We work with batteries and solar panels. This is our product. This is like our main thing that we try to sell and scale up with. But at this point, we are actually also applying the battery storages, helping with the trading and contracts. So yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, next question, please.
If nothing, then thank you very much.